Now we are. Now we are.
I can't even hear myself.
We are too. So, 3. We're all
what's
live.
The point of being live if I can't hear myself?
We live. I don't know why you can hear yourself. You got those headphones again.
I have my headphones.
The ones that remember the ones that weren't working?
Ooh. No, I wouldn't switch mine to that one.
No, James.
Oh, mic check.
Mic check. Good.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay.
Is yours plugged in?
I got 7 Mac 11s, about 8, 38s, 9, 9, 10, Mac 10, just never end. No, I always wanted to do that.
Yeah. That's why they speak so much, because it sounds good in the air, right? Oh, man.
Yo, I'm still not on.
He loves to hear him. So
that's my freestyle, though.
Yo, you take that one too?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I would have went with Jada Kiss or something like J-A-D-A. I got beef with the feds.
No. I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
I can't hear any of you
perfectly.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on now. Not Ab.
Oh, you know what it was? Somebody mentioned last time?
Ooh.
Here? Still can't hear it. No.
No.
Zero.
About to be taking pictures.
Zero. We're live, yo.
We're 4.
Oh, hold up.
Come on, man.
Okay.
I gotta say good afternoon to everybody.
Oh, this is.
No, man. They can. We all hear you. We all hear you, man. I don't.
What do you want me to do?
Talk.
I mean, we can switch headphones if you need to hear.
No, that's okay.
Let's go.
He wants to hear.
I do want to hear.
Yeah, let's switch.
No, that's okay.
Come on, man.
I'm a fake like I have headphones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Manhood Tree Podcast.
I can't hear this.
I can't hear anything. Are you playing a practical joke?
No, I'm not.
Turn my mic up, man. Anyways, today we have an excellent show for you. Mm-hmm. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad. And across from me, we have
Alonzo Lee Beckett.
One of the things that we started doing on our podcast is we ask our guests to introduce themselves. So we ask you, who are you? That's how we introduce ourselves. So I'm going to go to my right first.
Okay.
James, who are you?
Are you?
Oh, man, I am James Antonio Wiggins III.
Start the middle name stuff and let you know.
Hey, J-A-W, job, baby. Son of James Antonio Wiggins Jr. and Nilda Wiggins, my lovely parents.
My auntie, my uncle. I'm just throw that out there. I love my auntie. Throw that out there.
Fam. Black and Puerto Rican. I'm just trying to survive in this world. You know, that's all I'm saying. Provide for the family, provide guidance and knowledge to, not just my children, but my wife as well, you know. Everybody, all my loved ones. And, simple guy, that's all.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right. And Malik, who are you?
I mean, if you know me.
I am the brother.
Yeah. You know, I'm the unspoken word.
There it is.
You feel me? I'm the unspoken words of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I represent the brothers that rock chains and those that write checks.
Okay.
You feel me? I would say, I'm the baby boy of Leslie Ann Champlain.
Yeah.
I am the lucky husband of Rosalind Champlain and my 3 beautiful children, Naomi, Nia, and Mason. I'm a God-fearing man. I would say I'm somebody who's extremely passionate but understands the purpose of mastery and improving your talents.
I love it.
And somebody who really takes, being on point with where we at now, fatherhood serious to a level of just intention. You know what I mean? And making sure that I remember when my daughter was born or about to be born in 2013, going into 2014, that I remember dads were doing stuff already online. Right. But I remember me specifically being the hashtag control the narrative. Mm-hmm. It wasn't about selling a hat or a t-shirt. It was just about, showing that brothers is out here doing this.
Exactly. You're also one of the Fatherhood Monologue's original cast members, right?
Yeah,
you're original Fatherhood Monologue, All right, so tonight, on the show, we're going to talk about I'm really upset I can't hear myself, so I just want to let you know that.
I hear you. Sound.
Man, look,
no.
He does.
I'm not going to take your headphones. I just want to tell Zoe, it's his job to make sure that I can hear myself. And when I can't hear myself, I'm going to complain about it every 5 minutes through this whole show until we get me some hearing. So you just keep...
All your mic and stuff is in? I don't...
It's
so your staff's been working. Your staff been messing with it, man.
I don't know. All right. Tonight, our topic is getting here to there. Getting from here to there. That's what we're trying to talk about. I think a lot of times as men, you know, we all have a story from when we were young men trying to make it, trying to figure it out. And but before we get into that, I wanted to give you both the opportunity. I know that you both have different projects, different things you got going on. And so, James, I'm going to start off with you. I know you got your own... there we go. See? I'm back. All right.
I knew somebody that do it. He stopped everything.
Yeah, I'm going to stop everything. No. So, you have your own podcast. You might have some other things going on. Tell the people a little bit about your projects, different things you got going on that you think is important for them to know about you.
Okay. So, first of all, we don't. It's not a podcast. We don't have a podcast going on. But what we do is we started off. So I'll tell you the origin story. My cousin Alonzo over here back, I want to say like circa like 2017. He told me about a project that he wanted to do. He was starting like a Black Wall Street type of page, like channel for Facebook.
I was the star of that. I was the star of that.
I know, yes. So we met with you. We met with
yeah.
See, that's
I don't drink. I don't do crafting, but I was the star.
He'll still meet with you.
Yeah.
No, but he presented the idea that he wanted to start like a Black Wall Street movement. Black produced shows, you know, black actors, everything. So I'm always in support of that.
Come on.
So he told us, you know, or he told me, he said, yo, if you come up with like an idea for a show, I'll give you like production credits and stuff like that. Just let me know whatever you come up with. So at the time, my brother from another, my boy Jamel, we had just started diving into craft beer.
Okay.
So, you know, with us going to like different breweries and stuff like that, we realized that we didn't see a lot of people that look like us,
right,
up in these breweries and stuff like that. So we figured, you know what, let's we came up with that phrase like we want to widen the demographic in the craft beer industry. So you know, we came up with the idea like, you know, why not? I'm pretty sure if our people seen people that look like them, you know, on a show that's, you know, like drinking, enjoying craft beer, you know, like telling people about it and stuff like that. Because it's better product than what you know, like the typical like Coronas, Heinekens and stuff like that, Budweiser. So, you know, I presented the idea to Jamel. He was with it. So we brought it over to Zoe. He was down with it. So he was the original guy that started shooting the show for us. So that's how we started off. So, I mean, eventually we would love to like venture off into doing like a podcast type of thing.
Yeah.
That's always been like one of our goals. But we just literally went with the show. So he would take the show, edit it. We would go to, we actually started off, shout out to our guy, Joe Plouffe, Hanging Hills. He had his, the brewery out in Hartford, right behind.
It used to be, it's not there anymore, right?
Nah, yeah.
It was Boys and Girls Club at the new one in Southwest, across the street.
Yeah.
It's right by,
they had to move the brewery away from
the brewery was gone before they came.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was literally right next to Buckley High School, right off of Elliott, like right by Elliott, because you used to live over on Elliott way back in the day. I remember Elliott Street. I remember that. Yeah. But yeah. So our guy Joe, when we first met him, we told him our idea, and he was like one of the main guys that was saying like, "Hey, I put my brewery here in Hartford for a reason because I wanted to bring in like the Black and Hispanic community and make them feel welcome to come over here and come try out the beer and stuff like that, and just have a good time."
Right.
So he actually was the first person to start paying us to do reviews. So he would pay us like, you know, like half money, and then, you know, like whenever you want to come in, we'll pay you the money. You could grab a couple 4 packs of beers.
Come on now.
You know, good.
It's a good deal.
So that's how we started off, and I mean, it took off like immediately. So, you know, just venturing from him, he put us on with a bunch of contacts. Like my guy that. Oh my God! He's sales rep for New England Brewing Company now, NEPCO. Jamal Robinson.
So that's my brother.
Yo,
that's my man.
Oh yeah.
See? Oh, you know Jamal?
Yeah, we grew up going to church together.
Yo,
that's my man.
That's
small
like his
world.
best friend.
Yeah, changes in the air.
That's yes.
I know.
Changes
That's
in
what
the
I'm
air.
telling you.
See, that's crazy.
Just
See?
brought that up.
Yo, you know what?
A lot of people don't know each other, but then you just
like
make a
come here,
connection.
that's
It's
what
a
it is.
small world.
Yeah,
Small world.
yeah.
Small world.
I think I was gonna recommend Ray Berry from White Lion. That's my brother too.
Yo, remember? When we had first started the craft crew,
Mm-hmm.
Zoe started the Facebook page, and we had some random person hit us up on Facebook, and they was talking about White Lion. Like, you guys got it. That when they had like just started off. So White Lion is popping out in Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
They got Brockton Beer Company out in Massachusetts now, another black owned spot. I mean, here in Connecticut, you got Rhythm Brewing with Elisa Owens. She's doing the damn thing right now. Oh my god. But
so y'all have a show.
Yeah.
Where can they find that show online?
Honestly, right now, we were always looking for like a legitimate space to, something like similar to this where we could just come, do our thing or whatever, shoot the episode and then put it out. I just bought a house in December. Mm-hmm. So I'm setting up the garage right now. That's gonna be the space right there.
Black man buying a house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you caught that real slick.
So
you coming back in the fall?
Honestly, we're aiming for like the end of the
summer.
Ready.
Yeah, right now. You might wait.
I mean,
we know what you should buy.
That's right.
Got a whole bunch of different options. And everything's live. We're done when it's over.
Yeah.
So that's the best way to do it. Learn how to do it here. Then when you're done, you can just go live life.
Go live life. No editing.
Yeah, no editing.
Yo, we got oh my god, excuse me. Shout out our boy Dale Darden. Hit him up on Instagram and stuff, man.
That was the other video.
Excellent videographer, photographer, and stuff like that too. And it's crazy because like Zoe started off with us, but when he presented that Black Wall Street idea to us, he started doing like ounces and then everything for you, Abdul.
Ounces is
like
a movie,
that.
by the way.
Yo,
I wasn't doing ounces. Ounces is a movie that I did. It was a short film. The way you just said that, crazy.
You ain't got
doing ounces, and he got
no. Ounces is a movie.
Yeah.
Short film.
Yo, but I seen like the episodes and stuff back then. But I mean, like long story short, like Zoe blew up and became like super busy, and like I was super proud of him. Would never hate on him for that. So he just wasn't available as much anymore. So we bounced to some other guy. I think his name was like David or something like that for like a small minute. And then after that, we kind of had like a stretch when we didn't really have any type of like content out there like that. Mm-hmm. So like we brought another guy on board. Our guy Antron, another black man that we met, like just through craft beer and just vibing together and stuff like that. So we actually met him on Twitter. So that's when Twitter was still Twitter, and I still call it Twitter.
Right.
Anyways, we linked up with him. We brought him on board. So now it's 4 of us. Dale is on board now, but previous to Dale jumping on board, like Jamel and I were just always just praying for, like we just need that one hungry person that's just up and coming that wants to get their name out there as far as like videography and like photography and stuff like that goes. Because we have the ideas for the content, but we weren't necessarily good at like editing and stuff like that. So thank God Dale came around perfect. Like he nails it every single time. We could just go out, just to go have beers for like 2 hours or so, but like just all the B-rolls and all the content that he captures, like he captures the moment and incredible, and we get so much like love, and not only is he doing it, and then it provides for us, but at the same time, we want to see these black people build. So he's building clientele for himself, and we never have a problem with that. Like, please. So like whenever people come to us and they need recommendations and stuff, we point them right in. If it's not like Zoe and stuff like that, we'll point them into the direction of Dale. Like, please, like go support him too, because he can do the damn thing. But yes, please. We're setting up the spot right now in my garage. My wife gave me permission to use the bay, the garage bay. Yeah, so she's like
position to use the bay.
So coming back at the end of the summer, we could see some new Craft Crew episodes. Is it gonna go straight to Facebook, or what platform are you gonna use?
Oh, we're always throwing stuff on Facebook. We're mostly heavily on Instagram, so you can see a lot of our stuff on Instagram.
Okay.
We also utilize YouTube and stuff like that, so we'll throw it on the YouTube channel, trying to build that up more. But we're like mostly heavy on Instagram.
Okay.
Craft Crew 14 at Craft Crew 14 on Instagram.
What's 14? That's the year?
No, so we couldn't. So when we and
Because
Jamel,
remember, you're trying to get the page.
yeah. So when Jamel and I started the page originally, we couldn't, like, just Craft Crew wasn't available.
Mm-hmm.
So he came up with the idea of just doing the 1-4. So the 1 is my birthday, August 1st. And then the 4 is his birthday, October 4th. So we just did Craft
October
Crew
4th. That's my birthday too. It's a
Hey,
great
see?
day.
We connected
Jamel,
right here, bro.
He missed the last great party.
It's the energy.
He should have come to my birthday. Yeah. Anyways, all right,
Energy.
Malik.
Frequency.
I know you got a lot going on. Talk to the people. If you feel like telling them everything, what do you want to talk about?
Beat the drums, baby.
Go ahead. You got the drum. Yeah.
Now, what I would bring to the table is I have several business ventures, but me myself, I still do Passion Hunger Drive, which is talking about my book, Passion Hunger Drive, Live Your Dreams, Not Your Fears.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I love to recommend is that it's super important when you are building a product or you have intellectual property. The understanding is that you build it once yourself forever.
Of course.
Right. So when I made the book back in 2017, right, I consistently make sales, and a lot of it's relationship marketing and stuff like that. And then also it's just being out and about.
Mm-hmm.
And then also
sold
understanding
30 books last week, right?
Yeah.
I was with you.
And it's like we have another event coming up. Shout out to my girl Sana, who got me out there doing some work with with DCF.
Mm-hmm.
So we selling another 100 books, and we just keep doing stuff because we also understand funding, right?
Yeah.
And how with the grant funding and stuff like that. So Passion Hunger Drive, really that being a motivational speaker, but just understanding that process of the growth.
Mm-hmm.
Abdul, we've been moving around, doing the speaking tours and all over. And I know what was something that was big for me, maybe around the same time, right after I wrote the book, probably like 2018, I just understood that I personally was giving people gas, but not necessarily the vehicle. Right? So it's like you're motivated for 2 hours, but then like, what else?
I call it the peppermint. I like the gas. I like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, so they be all minty, fresh.
Right.
And then the peppermint runs out.
Right. And it's very, like, it was very me centered, right? But then when you think about the people that you're working with, and you're talking to a single mom or a dad who's struggling or a young boy who's coming up off of humble beginnings and wants to really do something, the motivation only goes so far, right? Yeah. So then it was like I had to go live life.
That's right.
And that's what we got into some of these other businesses.
Yeah.
And I started applying myself. So one of them is real estate. So I started off house hacking, right? So something that we got coming up that you're going to see probably Q1 of 2025 is my whole House Hackers Elite. And I'm coming out with a second book called Living Rent Free, right? How house hacking helped build generational wealth, right? And this idea that how I was able over a 12-year period to buy a property, live in it, leverage the government, federal, state, city programs, and then get it for cheap, right? Buying my first house for $1,800, my second house for $2,100, my next house for about $4,000, right? And then being able to leverage my name, my wife's name, and being able now to have properties, and we understand where the appreciation's at now, right? So I bought a property for $98,000 that's now worth $260. Bought a property for $200,000 now worth almost $400,000, right? Like these things that then you're able to leverage those things. And it's like in the market that we're in now, and we're seeing interest rates creeping up past 7-8%. Now we're saying, well, how do I still build wealth? How do you still win in this environment? And house hacking is the easiest way that our people specifically, right, with cooperative economics, can go ahead and build generational wealth. Because what we'll do is that we'll sleep 2 at the front, 2 at the head, right? Like, and we'll have 4 people sleeping in the room when we growing up in the hood. But then when we get a little bit of bread, we want our own house, our own room. We can't have nobody adjacent. We can't share a wall. Not understanding that you get to pick your tenants, that you get to have them pay your mortgage, and now you can stack that bread up. Because what's our number one expense? Living. Right? So pivoting from that, well, as I was going through opening up Freeman's Transport, which was my trucking company, we got it up to about 4 trucks. That's the big boy trucks over the road. We had a contract with Walmart for a couple of years. That fell through about 2 years ago. So last year we sold the trucks and then sold the authority in the business to a man out in Springfield, my man Andrew. So shout out to him. Also, we started Smash House Rentals. So that was something that out in Atlanta, me and my boy Jersey, we started something down there where we just started taking vehicles, and then I was purchasing them, bringing them down there. He was managing them. And we just had them on Toro, and then we wound up grabbing a couple Airbnbs. We had one in Tennessee for a little bit. That kind of changed because this is the market, and then we kept the ones out in Atlanta. Moving from there, we did some mobile homes for a while. That was right before the pandemic.
Just grinding.
Yeah, just look in 2019 to 2020. If you saw a yellow bandit sign in anywhere from Western Mass through to Central Connecticut, taking that L down to the shoreline through Route 2, it was your boy.
Yeah.
Right? And I tell you, like, I was on the hustle for it because I was grabbing mobile homes for like $3,500, $5,000.
Right.
And you're able to flip them for like 15, 20 grand.
Right.
But the biggest play was really like the rent to own.
Yeah.
Right? So you get somebody.
Keep the money coming in every month.
They move in for $3,500.
Yeah.
Give you now you write cash on cash return is 100%.
Right.
And now we got something that they're making a car payment for 60 months.
Yeah.
Paying you $300, $400.
Yeah.
Right? So now you're like, so we had that, and then throughout all that got me back into what we do now. Probably my main two focuses. One is You Leverage Capital, right? So if you want to find us, you find us at youleveragecapital.com. That's us because we help you leverage, right? Understanding leverage was the biggest thing about getting into business. I did not know that at first. I remember all the money I had was in my walls of my house that I could not get to it because I didn't understand debt to income.
Yes.
I didn't understand I didn't understand how the banks talk, stuff like that. And then as a black owned business, right? Even a female owned business, also leveraging that by having my wife 51% owner, right? And looking at these things, I started understanding that there's a language that the banks talk.
Of course.
And then now, most times when you're going to do your traditional lender, they're going to sit here and say, hey, yo, we need you to have 3 years tax return. We need you grossing at least $250,000, right? They're going to have all these barriers that stop us from getting access to even get started. Like, hey, I need money to get started.
Right.
And then what we did was we started solving the cash access problem by looking at alternative funders, but also giving you the science to getting funded and not making it whimsical.
Right.
So what we did was it took about a year. We created an online platform, the Business Credit Builder. Just had someone sign up yesterday, right? And we provide only 2 things, right? And we keep it real simple. We provide the Business Credit Builder program where you get 12 months of coaching. Every 7 to 10 days, a coach calls you and contacts you and works with you. You have access to the team Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. So anytime, we know business owners are busy. So if it's lunch, if it's breakfast, if it's on the drive, you can go ahead and call, and they're gonna walk you through your steps and be able to look at and give you and help you do what it is that you need to do to get funded. We don't do it for you. This is the Earn While You Learn program because if we did it for you, it would be illegal, right? However, we give you everything that you need online-wise and then coaching-wise. This could have just been an online product, right? Like all them other coaching things, right? You go ahead, it's 5 hours of training, and then you never talk to the person again. We wanted to make sure that people win because my receipts are not on paper, they're on people, right? So our ability to get people funded. So as a business loan broker, what we do is that after you're done going through our program, our 4 steps, we guarantee you $50,000 to $100,000 worth of funding. Right. And then what we do is we help provide that. I got 3 ladies, they're dogs with it, and they get after it, and they look at your profile, and they look at every way that you can get funded. Right? But the one thing that we don't do payday loans. We don't give you 40% interest loans. Most times, I'll tell you this, if you got one of those, come holler at me because we can probably cut that in half.
Get that out.
Right? So
the thing is, now for everybody listening, I think that this is important because a lot of times as men, we don't really get to talking about money stuff. Yeah, we start talking about money, everybody likes to keep it a secret. Everybody wants to make sure that they got money.
Funny.
People
get funny.
People get funny when you start talking about money. So if you're serious about trying to do some business, serious about buying a house, or you need to get your credit right, contact Malik. He's willing to get you the information. He doesn't want to keep it a secret. He wants to help our community progress. And so I think that this is a great opportunity for people listening. And so You Leverage Capital. So one of the things that we do on our show, we usually start off with a meditation minute.
Come on.
But today, what we decided to do. So you want to talk about this 369?
We want to switch it up.
Yeah, we switching it up.
All right, we're not gonna get too deep, but you know the internet's available, so you can go down a rabbit hole if you want to. But we're gonna do something called 369 in the universe. You know, numerology and all that. The numbers 369 are very powerful. Like I said, go look it up. Tesla did some stuff. 369 is a bunch of stuff. All right, so Tesla. So with that said,
not really, not Elon.
You got the car. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So with that said, we got 369. So what we're going to do, we believe in affirmations.
Yes.
Here, we believe in our energy.
I like it.
Believe in all that. So we're saying if 369. So I want you to write down 9 affirmations, which we've all done.
9 affirmations.
All right, 9 affirmations. While we're doing it, 9 affirmations, right? Now mine are pretty simple. So like if you don't kind of know what affirmation is, whatever, mine are very simple. And then there's a little bit more, maybe it's more complex. All right, but it'll be 9 affirmations. You'll say them 3 times a day for 6 days in a row. Okay. That'll change your DNA. You say these out loud.
Yep. Yeah.
These 9 affirmations 3 times a day.
3 times a day.
6 days a week. We say we're going to change your life if you come to the show because the next show is in
6 days.
So
in a week, we're going to change your life. Like if you just do your affirmations
3 times
for a week, anybody watching,
3 times
a day, you just got to read your affirmations.
For 3 times a day. Okay.
No. 3 times a day.
For 6 days.
For 6 days.
Okay. Because you already got the 9 written.
So what are your 9 affirmations?
My 9 affirmations. I'm a great person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a great dad.
I'm a great dad.
I'm a great businessman.
Come on. Businessman.
I will be great.
I will be great.
I'm willing to learn.
I'm willing to learn.
I do not know everything.
I do not know everything.
Live my life in abundance.
Live my life.
I will live my life in abundance. Uh-huh. Money will find me. It's already on the way.
Okay.
Let's get it.
I am a great husband. And those are my 9.
That's your 9.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
So I just say,
Yeah.
I'll just say those another 2 more times before I hit the sack tonight. Get to the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose of this is if you believe in the body is electric, people say, right? But it also revolves on frequency.
Right.
So we spoke about frequency before, about music, how quick analogy is if we go somewhere, we got a song that we like as our family that we always be jamming to, right?
Yeah.
Even they might like the song too, but we're going to act different to it because that song imprinted something different on our DNA than theirs. They like it, but it's different.
Right.
So like music and vibration and sound and what you put out there has an effect. So that's what this is a study in or some proof in.
Okay.
Malik, what do you got?
Okay.
Are you working on your 9 over here? Okay. Go ahead, Malik. Let's hear yours.
Oh yeah. So I had to take mine from the phone because this is the one I be sticking with. Is you a paper chaser? You got the block on fire, remain in the G until the moment you expire. You know what it is. You make nothing out of something. You handle your bid, and they'll be crying and suffering. That's 6.
That's 6.
So the next, 7. I'm not going back. I'm going forward.
Mm-hmm.
8. Stay dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
And then 9. Show up and drop gems.
I like
it.
it.
I like that.
All right.
I need 2 more. So,
all right, so Abdul's gonna go.
I'm gonna go. You got a chance.
Watch. After he goes, you're gonna erase all yours.
No. You can. If you heard something you like, you can use that.
Yeah.
You don't have to just come up with something brand new. Number 1, I am a happy person. Number 2, my life is filled with abundance, joy, and prosperity. Number 3, I have purpose, and I was born to do something positive that will change the world. Number 4, I am a better husband, father, brother, son, uncle, and friend than I was yesterday. Number 5, my body is free from any disease. I am strong, healthy, and able. Number 6, I can do anything I put my mind to. Number 7, I will help people in need and not think about recognition. Number 8, I am financially free and I have enough to live my life to the fullest and help my children do the same. And number 9, I love myself and I spread love wherever I go.
Boom.
Come on now.
Okay.
Come on now.
That's what I said.
Yeah. I see you.
I told you. I told you you're gonna try to do it. You had to let me go last.
I always go last.
They talking for me all the time.
You got a lot of squeaking over there.
Yeah, I'm working on these volumes.
What you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 1, I'm a strong black man.
Yeah.
Nice.
2, knowledge of self. 3, family first.
Yeah.
4, always being sure to provide for your loved ones.
Yeah.
5, always willing to learn. Mm-hmm. 6, I'm a great husband and father.
Why not?
I believe that. 7, I stay focused without the nonsense. 8, provide knowledge to my people / help others.
I love it.
And 9, I have purpose.
I have purpose.
Let's get it. I love that one. Yeah.
We got to do this 2 more times today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And remember, you have to say, you have to put the I in there.
I.
Because you talk about yourself.
That's right.
Like I will, I am, whatever.
Okay.
The powerful I am.
And all your Judy stuff. You got to put the I in.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so let's get into the conversation for tonight. I really was excited to have the two of you on the show. This show, I want to talk about getting from here to there.
Mm-hmm.
Getting from here to there. I think a lot of times as men, we go through different phases of our life where we're trying to make it. We're trying to figure out how to become a man, how to take care of our responsibilities and stuff like that. And so, but I think that to get to where we want to get to, it's a process. And so I want to start off with the first question of, on your manhood journey, what was your lowest point, and what was the first thing you did to get up from that point? So what was your lowest point, and what was the first thing you did to get up from that point? Who wants to kick us off? So you want to start us off with this?
A low point, you said?
Their lowest point. I want you to...
the bathroom.
Yeah, right there.
We never had no one do that. He must be part of the craft crew.
Yeah.
Nah, no one ever. Everyone just hosts.
right out the door.
He must be about 40 years old.
Got to work on his prostate.
Uh-oh.
That may be a prostate.
Men's health.
Yeah. So, what you got, Zoe?
Let me turn this for you. So you said my
your lowest point. You think back into your history as a man, and you think about when you were at your absolute lowest, and what did you do? What was the first thing you did to get from your lowest point to you're still in your lowest? You were still low, but you weren't at your lowest.
Come on.
I'm trying to think what
Malik is ready to go. He's chomping at the bit.
He got a bunch of I got some low points. It's like,
but I want you to take a moment and think about it though, because I want you to get the lowest.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Malik.
Okay. So for me, it was roughly around 2010. I was sleeping in my car.
Okay.
And it was a 98 Maxima, 215,000 miles. The trunk ain't locked, and I had everything I owned in it. I remember my now wife, but back then girlfriend, lived in Manchester. I lived up near Boston, and I was, sleeping at the YMCA when I could, couch surfing, sleeping in the car at the T station, just struggling. You know what I mean? But it was the mentality too. Like I was partying, hanging out, chilling. But I had that victim mentality. So I think to answer your question, why was that? Why was that my lowest point was because I had a part-time job, I had a degree, and I was still sleeping in my car. Right. And it was really like my mentality. So I think the first thing that I would say that I changed was like, it was one day, it was just like, it was a dumb hot. And when it's hot, it's raining, you ain't got the car on, the windows are fogging, and I can't open them because it's pouring. And I just remember being like, just praying, dog. And I just remember sitting there talking to myself and just being like, this is not going to be my reality. And I think the first thing that I did was I had work the next day, working part-time, and then I just, every day for 94 days, I went to the library and I shut it down. Like I just stayed there until it closed. And I looked for jobs, I applied for jobs, I interviewed, I talked to people, I did everything possible, but I was at that library all the time. And I just remember that. And then also like I started shaving every day, at least trimming myself up, but like I didn't have exactly a bathroom, so it would be at the Y or it'd be at the 7-Eleven or something. And I just remember, and I kept my suit and I had a printed out resume the library gave me in my glove compartment. And I just was like, yo, it's going to happen. I just made a decision. Like I signed a contract with myself and just remember this the acronym I had was GUSH. Like I'm gonna grind until something happens.
Right.
And I just grinded it out. And then that day, I was ready, but I wasn't just ready. That's why the affirmation is stay dangerous. And that's why I love that, because it was like, I wasn't ready, I was dangerous, right?
Dangerous.
And it's like, I wasn't trying to counterpunch, I was trying to punch first.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you from around the way and someone tucks their chain, right? I'm throwing the first punch. Right. I'm not waiting. We already know what time it is. Yep. So for me, I just was staying dangerous. So someone had missed their interview or canceled, they were like, hey, can you come and be here in an hour?
Right.
And because I had shaved that day, because I had my resume ready, because I had my one black suit, right, little velour black suit with some black pants, like I promise you, like that's all I could afford at the time.
Hey.
And I went, and I just remember on some like Eminem 8 Mile, just like, yo, I had one chance, bro.
You got one chance.
And they called me the next day, gave me the job. I went from making $24,000 to making $45,000. And then it was just like the week later, I had gotten a coaching residence position at Mount Ida College at the time, and that just changed my whole life.
So things just started opening up. But 94 straight days,
94.
Going and I'm happy you remember the amount of days. Yeah. Going to the library, shaving, putting your suit on, getting the applications ready. 94 straight days. Zoe, what do you got? What your lowest point?
Saying all that stuff, we were like kind of around each other at the same time. Like, I thought was like my low point too. We were like around each other. We were just talking about the videos and the shoe stuff because I was at ESPN. I went to college. Everybody, I was great. Family loved it. Working at ESPN. Then I left. I quit.
Right.
And it was like, you quit for what? And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, I didn't know why I quit. And then I was then I was like, I'm gonna do my own thing. You mean you gonna do your own like company? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make videos and stuff. Like, yeah, that's stupid. You should go back to school. You went to school.
Right.
So the whole time, he would tell you, like, I remember how many times, like, family events, I would always bring a camera. Yeah. I was trying to let everybody know what I did. Like, look. I don't do that anymore. Right. It was weird what I used to do because that's what because people would tell me, because the conversation would always be like, you still doing that thing with the camera and stuff?
Building content.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still get that little thing, that little business. They did. They're not trying to be little. Yeah. You got that little.
So okay. So, but what was the first thing you did though, or what did you do? Like, so you had to have a recognition you were at your lowest point in a sense. Yeah. When you look back now,
right? Yeah.
So what did you do to make that first move out?
Like similar to you, like I got up every day, like I had a job, and I was at the track house.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
And I just sat in front of the computer. Remember that? I was just sit there. I didn't have a job.
Right.
And my lowest point because my wife is paying for everything.
Right.
It felt horrible.
Yeah, right.
So at least I can do is get up. I would watch my son while she worked.
Yeah.
And in the morning, I would take him to Auntie Diane's, and she would watch him in the morning while I went to the track house and just had fun. They said.
Right.
Just having fun.
Yeah.
You're just over there drinking and having fun, and that's.
But it was actually the beginning of who you are now.
Right. So I always felt that way. I kind of feel that way still.
Right.
Because some people don't know. They don't know everything what's going on with me.
Yeah.
So I still find that they don't probably mean to do it. But it was that point where I felt like I needed to. I'm gonna find out. I always felt like we had a discussion. If I do this every day, I know the next person's not doing that. And if someone's doing what I'm doing, he's far away from me.
Right.
He's on the other side of the earth.
Yeah.
Because I go every day and edit every day. You can't do that. I didn't have a job at that point. So and now it is my job. So it's the same. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
But I know I'll be better at it than you could ever be because you do it part-time or you don't care as much as I do.
Right.
So like you said, I knew something would happen. I don't know what, but it will because at the end of the day, I'm going to be the best person that you could pop for the advice, for a problem, because I've had them all. Like how to, and to this day it is. People call me like, hey, I know how to do that. I don't even know how, but it all comes. So just seeing like what I wanted my family to be and the path I was on.
So you were already married and everything.
Yeah.
That's
so people, and people always thought that I should just go in the path that's like, job. And we talk a lot. I think so much bigger than I can't be in the office type thing.
Yeah.
So, and I knew that then, but I was broke and no one believed. They just don't believe you. You think because many kids are like that now.
Okay, I got to stop you, but we're going to get there. I know you guys can see once you get going. All right, James, what do you got? You were at your lowest point. Tell us about that. And then what did you do to make that first step out of the gutter?
My lowest, I'll always remember. So when I first moved back up here to Connecticut, it was like circa like August 2006. So I immediately started going to Manchester Community College. From there, I got my first job working at UPS, just doing like overnight like sorting and stuff like that.
Wait, Paul. I lived on your couch. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live on this couch. I remember. Remember I used to live with you and your wife?
Yeah, so it was me, my now.
I used to drive my car, it was unregistered. I used to get caught. I used to get caught every day. They would wait for me. The cops would wait for me and I'd go different directions and they'd catch me. I'd take my car and I had no money to get it out.
Sounds like somebody I know right now. Like
you know what?
Right now.
You know what? We actually like like simultaneously had low points because around the
Y'all
time
were all at the low point at the same time.
Yo,
I wasn't there yet. I was older than you guys, so
like leading up to what Zoe was talking about as far as like staying with us. So I had the UPS job. My cousin Mario. Yo, we ended up filling out applications to be hired with like a courier service for UConn Health Center. So we started over there probably like February 2007. I was there for 3 years, but at the time I'm a teenager. All my priorities are like jacked up. So I'm worried about the wrong things in life. I want to party and stuff like that. So they had like hiring freezes for those 3 years while we were there. So doing dumb stuff, like leaving on lunch breaks to go back to the crib to go do our thing and stuff like that. Come back, taking the state vehicles and stuff like that. Got caught out. So before I knew they were gonna fire me, they called us in for like an investigation one day or whatever. I couldn't catch Mario in time. It was funny. It was funny. I'm like, no. Tell them that, like,
they're trying to get the story straight.
Yeah.
They know everything, but they're gonna still try to get the story straight.
Long story short, I knew what was going down, so I filed for unemployment and everything. So this at the top of 2010, and till this day, I'm still thinking about it because had I just stayed the course and did the right thing, I would have been a state employee for UConn Health Center for like well over 10 years now. So it would have been going on like 14 years, but would have had a nice pension and everything. But
so from that spot when you got fired,
yes. Oh my God.
What was the move to get you? What was the first step? Not the 10th. Don't take me too far in the future. What was the first thing you did to get from that?
I know we did. We played Tiger Woods golf for another 3 weeks.
Sir, that's a whole nother podcast. Because I mean, if y'all want to come see me on the course now, I'm nice.
Yeah, I see.
But that started the love for golf. But that's a completely different story for another day.
Yeah.
But around that same time, so this like later on that year, 2010, I believe is when I believed in like Zoe's vision from the beginning because we were helping them out. Like me and Mario would help them out with little things here and there, with any, as far as any video goes, going out to like different events and stuff like that. It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, we had some of the best times of our lives, fun, man. We had fun. But so 2010, top of 2010, January, that's when I got fired from. It was Avant Business Services from UConn. Went on unemployment all the way until about maybe like October of that year. That's when I linked up with shout out my boy Chef, custom sneaker artist here in Connecticut. He was working at the Polo store in Clinton. So I was a fashion design major. So he got me in over there. I worked from over there from like October 2010 till about maybe like June of 2011. I got fired from over there for stashing.
You went down again,
stashing clothes and stuff like that. From there, I went to Cole Haan, a couple of stores down. Worked over there for a couple of months to like August of 2011. Then like September 2011, I started at CNS Wholesale Grocers over at like the Windsor area. That's hands down to this day. That's still the most brutal effing job I've ever done in my life. And after just being there for like 2-3 months, I was like, I'm not doing this shit. Like that was definitely a job. I was just like, I was making like $13.75. It was brutal in there. So I went home, and then this is where I can like same connection, or I can like same thing like Zoe was saying. Basically, I was with my now wife, so now we're on our own together, living in East Hartford. So she's paying like majority of the bills and stuff, and then you feel like crap, you know what I'm saying? Like like this is what a man is.
Some men do.
No. Me.
I'm still waiting for you to tell me.
Hold on.
The next step.
But hold on.
You're low. I got it. Give me the step.
But you said everything, so I figured this is like basically the top of 2018 at this point. So it was like, you know what? Why not? If I could go for free, hell yeah. So I went for free. the main goal was just keep a 3.0 average, and we'll continue to pay the tuition. I did that, graduated August 2021 with an environmental studies degree, and then literally like 2 weeks later started working for the career that I have now, because that was always my goal. It's always a difference between like a job and a career. So like a career is just something that you actually love to go do, and it doesn't bother you and stuff like that. You're not just going there for a paycheck.
Yeah, we all have careers. We know.
Okay,
so he's still waiting. He's still waiting.
The question was, you were at your lowest, and then you did one move, and you just gave me your whole resume. Are you trying to get a job at my people right now? What are we doing right now?
I'm here now. I'm at the town of Glastonbury.
Yes.
I'm at the town of Glastonbury now, doing my thing over there now, working at the water pollution control facility. Okay. So I'm here now. So that's the story.
That's a dope ending, though. It's a dope ending. I like that.
It is.
It ended. Not the way he wanted it.
It ended well.
Because I wanted him to tell me the first step. You know what I'm saying?
You up. You up.
Basically, I went to film school.
Yep.
I was going to be a filmmaker. I realized I wasn't good at film. I dropped out of film school. And I came back home, and I had to get a job because my parents were like, you're gonna be home, you gotta work.
Yeah.
And I had to, everybody knows I'm Muslim, right? And there was this restaurant. It was called Porky's, and I had a job at Porky's. And so every day, all day, I would
wait.
I would sell pork.
Porky sold Muslim pork.
Yeah.
It's like a Seinfeld episode.
I would sell pork.
This is wild.
What?
That's a last.
I worked with it was crazy because I worked with some like
Jewish. That sells pork.
I worked with some Jewish guys that were like Italians. They were Jewish, but they acted like they were Italian. So they would be like talking like crazy all the time, and they'd be like, Abdul, get that fucking, and I'd be like, oh man, and so. The thing that really got me down at this job was
the ham hogs?
When people came in, I would have to say, hello, my name is Abdul, welcome to Porky's. So every day I would just be like, damn, this is the worst. And I'd be just back there flipping pork. It was just
pork juice hitting you? Oh.
And so my first step out of that was that I got a job at a camp. And I was like, I got to get out of here. And I went back to college. So I went to real college.
But when was it that you knew you had to get out of there?
Day one. I was
you made the decision.
Basically, no. I was working at Porky's because I needed a job.
Yeah.
And it was basically I was waiting until camp season started because I always used to work at camp.
Yeah,
and so
get some money.
And so it was like basically if I can get to the camp, then I can basically get back to school.
Okay.
All right, so talk to me about consistency. I think Zoe and Malik, you guys in your stories, one of the things that you kind of like emphasized was consistency. You went to you got out 94 days in a row. Yes. You went to the track house. I saw you at the track house. I used to see you over there.
I had my green screen over there. We trying to do it over there too. The same thing.
The same thing.
Trying to figure it out. I was like, I really like this thing.
So tell me about consistency. When you think about getting to where you want to get to, what role did consistency play? I'm gonna come to James first. Go ahead. Consistency.
As far as consistency goes, like the main goal that I had was just I didn't want to see like my now wife like paying and struggling and doing everything on her own. So that was always the motivation. So I just always made sure I stayed on my grind and did what I had to do. And then like when the school opportunity was presented, I knew I could take it up a whole entire different notch. So
he should speak on. He should. Yeah. The way he is, like he feels like people say like marriage.
Yeah.
Like in his case, marriage helps.
Yeah.
Because he knows someone that's going to be there with him.
Come on.
She loves him. She want to as strong as at his weakest.
Yeah.
She's going to be there. So he knows if he gives his all, she will be there if he falls.
Right.
So he has like no problem like trying his best at something because she's going to support him regardless. And some people don't have any support, so they don't want they don't want to go to school.
Yeah.
Because no one's like,
go ahead, honey. I got your back.
Go ahead. No one's doing that. And she's done that before.
But even when he told us the long story before, he consistently was doing something. Yeah. I think that you guys did 94 days, but he was like trying to find it, right? Yeah. So consistency. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I got fired again because and we all got that story where we think we could steal some of the clothes and food, steal some food. But it's also, I think, a little piece of maturity too.
Yeah.
So
and then we had our first child. My oldest son, my baby, man, Johan, August 31st, 2012. So that was. I always tell like my wife, and now I tell my son too. Like I needed them back then, like still to this day, but I needed them back then a whole lot more than they needed.
Come on,
right? Because that just that created that foundation for me to like that drive. For me to like continuously keep going, and then I didn't get down on myself. So that was like my major drive right there, man. My wife and my firstborn, our firstborn.
Consistency.
I think consistency matters. Anything you can be consistently bad, and you can be consistently a horrible person. You can be drinking a lot of liquor. You're consistently drunk. You can be consistent in anything. You look at it. So just try to be consistent in things that I want to do.
Right.
Like you said, I always thought if I like anything, we talk all the time. Any app, I got you. Give me a week.
Yeah,
master the app. Right. I know I'm going to dig into it, and I'm going to make sure I understand it.
Yeah.
So all I need is some time, some consistency. I keep going back to it. I know it works.
Yeah.
Right? And the reason why you're successful because 94 days work.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do that to anything else, what? Mm-hmm. All I need is that much time. So once you do something, and you complete it, and you like, all it took for me was to continue to do it and learn and try to, take one step at a time. Not look at it from afar, like they say the tree analogy. Like when you roll close to a tree, you really can't see until you back up. You see,
right?
So you just
forest for the trees. Yeah.
Right. So you're just trying to do one little thing at a time because you know that those days add up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think consistency matters in both ways. It's just that you need to subtract the people in your circle that's going to bring the energy down.
Right.
Like, people know those people, but they continue to hang around those people.
Yeah.
So you gotta be around people that's nothing but. I hear nothing but. Like I tell people all the time, I have a big team. Like you're on my team.
Yeah.
Like you're on my team.
Yeah.
Your team.
Yeah.
Like my team, we all win. Like we great.
Let's get it.
Right.
We all trying to score.
Yeah.
Most people on the wrong team, and you know that.
Yeah.
But you still choose to be on that team. That hurts the consistency part.
Yeah.
Someone can. Another analogy, real quick. Like I always wish I boxed.
Yeah.
Because when I played basketball, I used to work out harder than that guy. So we get in the game, I want to give him the ball, but I have to because he's on my team.
Right.
Did he miss it? I got to act like I like him.
Yeah.
I'm not upset at him.
Right.
If I do, you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
But boxing's a solo sport.
I can practice by myself. It's me.
Right.
So I'm dependent on me.
Yeah.
In my business, I realized that too. When I try to bring people with me,
right?
They were always like, "Hey, let's go do this." I'm like, "I want to go do this." Like, no, I'm like, "All right," and you go do it.
Yeah.
When it's just me, I don't got to worry about that.
Yeah.
And everything gets done because it's just me. But consistency can go both.
Go ahead, Malik. Consistency.
Man. Consistency, like I think for me, is like about being like relentless about something.
Yeah.
Right, and I think that's a superpower.
Yes.
I think people don't talk about it enough, right? Like I often hear like this idea that like hard work beats talent, but like just imagine if you had both, right? And it's something that we're gifted in, we're talented in, that we're genius level of ability that we have.
Yeah.
That I think that when I think about consistency, it's the thing that like I think about my college basketball coach who I feel like in sports you learn so much about life.
Yes.
And he would tell me, right, control what you can control.
Right.
And I could be consistent, right? I was the most consistent player when I played, right? Like, you knew what you were going to get out of me, and if I gave you more, it was the icing on the cake, but what you did know was you wasn't going to get a lemon.
Right.
Double.
And it's like, yo, what can you bring every day, right? And it goes also to, like, this idea that I've been studying a lot more recently, which is, like, stoicism, right? And this idea that only I can control is my emotions and how I approach the day.
Yeah.
Right. And that level of consistency says a lot about who you are and your reputation. Yeah. But also, like, that level of consistency is why it's so easy to succeed nowadays.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to do something, to do a podcast, right? Like the average podcast doesn't do 20 episodes.
Right. 25.
Right? So like when you look at something like that.
Me and Zoe are consistent.
That's
one thing. One thing I like about Zoe is that we just show up. If you keep showing up, like the reason I'm the star of all of the shows is because I show up the most. If Zoe's shooting something, he likes the videotape. and I like to be in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna be in front of the camera. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get over there with Zoe, and we're gonna start talking about something. I'm saying, right. We should do a cooking show. We should do this. We should. And guess what? He's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And he's gonna videotape. I'm gonna get a chance to talk, and I'm gonna get what I want out of it. Yeah. I personally believe consistency is the key. This is how I feel about consistency. This is what I like about consistency. You don't even have to do a lot.
Yeah.
Like I created a Manhood Tree curriculum. Mm-hmm. If I were to say to you guys right now, today, I'm gonna write the Manhood Tree curriculum, and it was like they said, this is an assignment, Abdul, and you need to get it done in 30 days. Mm-hmm. I would be stressed out. Mm-hmm. But the way I do my consistency is like nobody gave me a deadline for the Manhood Tree curriculum. Right. There was no deadline. Mm-hmm. There was nobody said you had to do it this way. Nobody said I had to. It has, as long as it, I want to make sure that the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. Mm-hmm. There's no grammatical issues. But the actual book, nobody told me when I needed to get it done, how I needed to get it done. So I used to just come in the office and I would just work on it. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I got to the point where when I first did it, it was just a presentation. It was like an hour presentation. And after I did the presentation, I was like, nah, we need more. Yeah. So then it was 5 sessions. Remember, you had one video, it was like the 5 hoods. Yeah. Right? But then I came up with 6 hoods. Yeah. Right? And so it went from 5 sessions to 8 sessions. Now it's 10 sessions. Right? But who's telling me that I have to do it? All I'm doing is going with the way I feel about it. Yeah. And so I keep building. And so now it's done. And it took me 4 years to get to where I am right now. Right. Yeah. Now in the process, we did groups. We people graduated. All types of stuff happened. But here we are, 4 years later, and I got my finished product. And there's nobody's on my back about it. Right. Mm-hmm. And now I'm ready for it to go out into the world. And so my whole thing is that if I could just do a little bit today. Yeah. The thing is, if you can just get up and do something. Yeah. Until you put your energy in until the energy runs out. Come on now. You're gonna get a result in your life. Yeah. You're gonna get something out of it.
But like something just to add to that is like how powerful is that when we think about all the hats that we wear as men, right? Yeah. Like if you just show up and give what you have as a father, give what you have as a husband, give what you have to your kids, to your business partner, to your health, to the things that just give what you have and don't worry about what's outside of your control. And be okay with what it is that you have, and what you have is enough. Yes. Right? And I think that anxiety you get, I know for me coming in as a younger father, right? Mm-hmm. Coming in and talking with other young fathers or fathers in general, just being like, yo, well, what do I do? How do I show up every day and give what you got?
That's it. If there was a father right now, I mean, we talking about getting there, but it's like, that is the greatest thing you could do. If you show up.
That's your dad.
You know? Of course.
My uncle.
Yeah.
It's not my dad.
That's my dad too.
He used to show up for me.
Yeah.
I'm not my father, but he would show up. Just to show up. My uncle come to my games. Yeah. Just show up. Yeah. And you remember those things.
It could change somebody's life.
Look, and it change your when you get older, it change your perspective on that person too. Right. Yeah. When you get older, you kind of realize, that's so easy to do, but as an adult, people don't even do that.
You know what though?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to take that. I want to take that back. I don't know if it's easy to do. It's like when you're able to do it with the flow. Like when I did the book, it's easy. But now we start talking about fatherhood. Mm-hmm. We start talking about husbandhood. Mm-hmm. We start talking about all of that. Some of it gets a little hard sometimes. Right. When you have that, when it's like there's money on the line now. I'm talking about. I know there's precious moments. Mm-hmm. But we talk about manhood now. We saying like when I have to go to a meeting, right, and they got something else going on over here. I'll be honest with you. We talk about fatherhood sometimes. I always say I'm not trying to sell that I'm the greatest father. Yeah. I never try to sell that one. Mm-hmm. But because for 5 straight summers, I was trying to create my people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. But 7 straight summers. Mm-hmm. I was, and my mindset was, and I will say, my father was the type of father that he always worked a job, right? But he was high up in his job, and he could leave his job and come support us. Yeah. But I'm this is a business. This is the beginning.
No, yeah.
This is when we're laying foundation.
I'm already out.
You're out.
I leave. I gotta go. I have to do that. Or we can't do this.
Right.
Most of my stuff I
see,
leave.
but see, and then the difference with that though is that I'm you guys are building like your own entities and stuff like that.
Right.
So you're creating your own revenue and stuff like that. Me,
right.
I wouldn't. I mean, in the sense, I'm going to work for the man or something.
Oh
like
no,
that.
I'm calling out.
It's a career.
I'm calling out.
You don't work at my people anymore.
I'm calling out. Why?
So like, in a sense,
you don't work here
like,
anymore.
Excuse me.
No.
I can't make it in.
I know the hours are incredible over there, so I know I have that revenue coming in. So I know that I can go.
Yeah.
Like Johan has a game. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there. Or like Cairo has something going on. I'm gonna be there.
Right.
My wife got something going on. I'm gonna be there. See, I can't really relate to y'all because like with the craft crew thing, that's something that we're still in the midst of like building up all these years.
Yeah.
You guys are like way higher up on the pedestal and stuff like that. So I understand.
I just wanted to put another little crease in it for you.
Yeah, no,
You know,
I totally understand.
I like the
little craft crew. It's gonna come, bro. That's coming. That's
right.
The affirmation.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the affirmations you can say.
You
that's
should
coming.
say that, right?
Yeah.
Craft crew, they're coming for you. Someone's coming to say something to you, so you gotta.
Yeah, because there's still nobody here there's still nobody up in the northeastern region that's doing what we're doing, let alone Connecticut. So,
and I think Abdul, to your point, as soon as you said it, like I think you know, and I know that like that is probably, if not the number one conundrum that like fathers have.
Right.
Is that right? Like if we're in the horse and carriage, and I'm riding the horse, I'm not in the back with y'all.
Right.
And we're moving forward.
Yep.
So for me to be in the back with y'all, I have to stop the momentum of what we're going to be back there with y'all.
That's right.
Right? And now, not my heart wants to be here.
Right.
Yeah. Now, the other part is, right, you talk about times where you, like, your lowest point. I remember there was a time when, like, my firstborn was around, and I'm driving 2 hours to get to work there and back. I'm working 15, 16-hour days. And I started getting this, like, damn, I gotta get to the house. I already know I gotta change this diaper a bunch of times. I ain't gonna get no sleep, right? And I had to change my mindset from I got to I get to.
That's what we're doing,
right? And that level. But I would bring this last part up is that when I talk about consistency, the other thing is as men, we gotta make sure that we're okay with the fact that we're so consistent, so that when we're inconsistent, our family is gonna call us out on it.
That's right.
Right? Like my 9-year-old, like hey, I remember my daughter recently. Hey. You ain't make the last assembly.
Right.
Like you always there. That's what she knows, right?
Yeah.
Like my oldest daughter, she understood when I had 4 summers where I couldn't tell you what she wore to school Monday through Thursday.
Right.
Because I was working 80 hours a week. Because that's what the job asked of me.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that's where it was like where I then when I left that job, because working for the state, had a pension, right? Gave me a car, making good money, right? Yeah. And I was like, but it's not worth my soul. And I had to build that, right? I had to endure that until I can say no to that and say yes to the fact that now every morning I can go drop my kids off.
Right.
Now I can put my kids to bed, right? And that's my favorite part of the day. But I had to earn that.
Yeah.
That wasn't necessarily like on the table.
Right.
And I know a lot of brothers who are out there who still, that's not on the table.
It's not on the table. You gotta so we gotta remember, right? I think that things are changing. There's a different time. And I think y'all spoke about the fact that some men have the capability, they may be at a phase of their life where they are getting support from their wife, their girlfriend, whatever, right? But things are different now. Not everybody, when I think about manhood, I always go to provider. Somebody is going to get up and go get it. Yeah. And I feel like that usually is our first priority, to provide. Yeah. We're going to go out and provide, and then everything else falls in line. I think as we get in, it's 2024, and men are thinking differently. Like you just said, yes, I'm going to provide, but I'm also going to make it to the event for the kids. I'm also going to make it to the basketball game, because my kids need more from me than just the food. They just need more than just the roof over their head. They need to have a relationship with me. They need to have a connection to me. Yeah. And the way I get that is by showing up. Yep. So let me ask you this. Just sticking with our theme, I like what we're talking about tonight. Just so you know, we even if we veer off the topic a little bit. So if you think about when you were in this process of getting from here to there,
Mm-hmm.
when did you know you were gonna make it, and how did you feel?
I always think
Like, was there a specific moment, a day, a week, where you said, "Yo, I think I'm gonna make it," and how did you feel?
No, I always think I'm gonna make it because, or like I always believe like if you want to be known as something, like right here, like what is he known as? If you just look at him, like what is he known as?
Dream Champions no more.
Right.
Dream
Just say that. If you say that, because every day he was doing the ice cream truck, people know that.
Yeah.
Right. So I always think if I want to be something, I just do it, and I'll be that.
Right.
If I do that consistently, I'll be that. So like my business, I continue to go there. So now, if you don't, I'm looked at as a successful business owner for whatever it is, because they see it all over the place. Because I do that all the time.
Right.
So when I realized that and that's before I even had any money, I realized if I keep doing this, I can't even tell you when it was, but I realized there's a value in someone like caring about something.
Right.
If you detail a car or whatever, like man, he detailed like our grandfather used to detail cars. People would go to him before other people because he cared about it so much.
Yeah.
And people it resonates with people.
Yeah.
So I think when I realized that all I have to do is like I was telling my son I want to be known as someone that looks after their health, knows what they eat and put in their body and works out and all that. And now, like you were saying, if I don't go to the gym, he's like, you didn't go to that. Man, chill out. Man. You know what I'm saying? But he knows like that my dad don't eat that. Right? Well, so he knows those things. So that's why
I personally feel like right now you're going to another level though. I'm just watching you from my vantage point.
Yeah. You're talking.
If I talk to you, let's say 18 months ago, and now you're a little bit more focused on. I mean, across the board, your affirmation game is pretty high.
Yeah.
You're eating better. Your workout game. I think that the thing like you're kind of like. I think this might be a crazy thing to say, but it's like you're becoming you.
Yes, I believe in that.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. It's like Billy Carson, man. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm astral project. I do it. Yeah, listen.
Yo, no, you're
Billy Carson.
You're talking like high level stuff. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's astral projection. Who talks about astral projection? Like that's high level thinking.
I just believe in the
consumption.
How the body works.
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Part is like biochemistry, like how things work, man. He's out.
He's out.
I gotta get my.
Any last
right? This man is stuff right now. Actually,
you're about to leave. But any last statements about before you want to go? About our topic. Any.
I definitely appreciate this this type of conversation because I read on the website like you said if we always typically coming around each other, we always talking about sports, some other BS, or we talking about women.
Yeah,
so like this is good to get everybody's like intellect and everybody's like input on like these other like really important conversations that we really need to be talking about in life, man. So you see all this BS on social media and stuff, and you're like, why are we paying attention to this when there's so many more important things that we need to be focusing on? So this is wonderful. I'll definitely willing to come back.
Sign the wall.
Yeah, sign the wall.
Yeah, of course. I'm definitely willing to come back and come do this all over again.
And we have a group on Thursday night for the Fatherhood Monologues. If you want to come at 6:00, you can join that.
Ooh.
And we're gonna be doing another manhood group coming up soon. I'm looking for 5 people for that group. So I'm about to start my groups up.
Yo, I'm down. I'm telling y'all right now, Tuesdays as of right now is like. Because I got so much going on with the family and stuff.
This is when the show comes on.
Yeah.
But the Thursday stuff, I could definitely stick around a whole lot more longer for because my wife don't have anything going on, so I always have that going on.
So
Thursday at 6.
Husband, father, that never ends, man. So appreciate the opportunity, man.
Fatherhood is forever. Fatherhood forever beats out.
I got my beats too.
I need some.
You didn't get no beats?
Hold on, you did that when you graduate? I thought I knew somebody.
All right, Malik,
you got something to write with?
Tell us about it.
Because this dude was asking on our live channel right here. So if you send all your business information to this dude right here, he was asking for it.
I'll put it in the chat right now. Just tell me what you got.
I was gonna say if you wanted to send it to him personally too, just jot down his this is his Instagram.
All right, sign the wall back.
See here, we networking, baby.
That's what it's all about.
L?
1.
Okay, man.
V.Ward 1.
Got you.
All right.
Appreciate you.
So Malik,
Yeah,
when did you know you were gonna make it
All
out?
Right, brothers.
And how did peace?
How
did you feel?
Do you mind me asking a follow-up question?
Yes.
When you mean, when did I know I was going to make it out? Of my situation?
Of your situation. Yeah. So you were down low.
Yeah.
You started making it out, but you like, it's one thing to like get a little bit out. It's another thing to be out the hole and standing on solid ground.
I'll say officially 2 years after that, like that happened, and this is how life happened, right?
Thank you.
Take your cup, man. That's all right.
Well,
I had gotten a job in 2010 in the end of August, and then 2 years later, August 22nd, 2012, I bought my house.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like I felt it.
Yeah.
Right. It was like can't nobody kick me out. You know, when you live in certain types of environments, certain, you know, shout outs to Crystal Lab in New London, or Brantford Manor in Groton, or the Heights in Willie, or, you know, Bushwick and Elder in Brooklyn, like all the spots, like we got the people, you know, being evicted and stuff. Like I just remember, you know, like living in your car. I just remember having this house, understanding like that now I'm in a position that same weekend to move my brother and my cousin, and a couple months later move my girl in. Like it just was one of those things where I just felt like, yo, I made it, and now I'm able to do what I wanted to do, which was because I was born and designed to help my people. Right. And I just knew that like the position I was in, I had to really just remember who I was, and I felt like I was like living in that, because I'm never lacking confidence. That's not something that like I prescribe to.
It's
so
not
like
an issue for you.
No. So an example I'll give you is that right after I got my spot at that end of August, September, in January I had gotten braces. I used to have a big gap in my teeth. And I got braces, and they're like, well, why are you getting adult braces? And I was like, because I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna be on the front cover of my book, and I'm gonna look real good with my smiling.
I like it.
Right? And it was 5 years later, I finished my book, but it was like, I just called my shot and I knew it. Right? So like all those things just came into place because it was supposed to.
Right. What did that feel like? Well, give me the feeling.
Yeah. It felt like I was right where I was supposed to be at, man. Like it felt empowering. It felt vindicating, and like it felt, you know, because you talked about having like the doubters and people looking at you, and it just felt like well, you know what it felt like too was that like I came to a clear understanding very quickly too, that, and it helps me in life now, that nobody is going to understand how it feels. It's between me and God.
Wow.
And this idea of the things that I do, the things that you do that no one else sees, that goes undercover, it's not about them. It's not about the external. It's me. Like I have the snapshots, right? I have the snapshots of understanding, like when I knew, like, you know what, you're gonna be a man, step up and ask this girl to marry you. Like you want to start a family here. Like I knew, like when she walked down the aisle, like I knew when we had our baby, like right, like these are my memories. These are my feelings, right? And like I get to have them, and they're so powerful and they're so meaningful, and I get to choose to share them. But at the end of the day, like I was there. It happened. I felt it, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. What about you, Zoe? When did you know you were gonna make it, and how did that feel?
I don't know. Like I said, I still don't think I've made it to an extent.
Okay.
I know I can support my family, so I bought that. So I never thought. Well, I did think that because that's why one of the questions is like, can you have the same mindset? Because it's kind of like
that's the next question.
Yeah. So I'm trying to go in there because that's like I've always thought that even when we were young, my mom used to say, I played basketball. She's like, if you don't make it NBA, you're gonna starve. She's like, you ain't be able to work a day in your life because you can't. Because she was like, you lazy.
Right.
So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to do something.
Yeah.
So then I didn't make it to the NBA. I'm like, I'm still gonna be successful. I always thought I would be at something. I always thought like the confidence thing. I always thought I was special. And I always thought I was special. And I didn't think it was nothing weird for me to think that I was very like I was special. Like I'm meant to be. I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And that kind of propels me to everything like I do. So it's like he said, like I do everything for me. Like I go to the gym for me. I eat right for me. Then I'm better for you, whoever else. So I always was like, me. Make sure I'm good. And in turn, that's giving me like all of that. Like I said, now I'm not working. I work for myself. But I never thought that would happen. But thinking about it. Like if now that I know, when you go through it, you know, I would tell someone if you just believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And don't really think about the end goal. Just believe in yourself.
Right.
And it will happen. I don't know what, but from what you're doing, so many possibilities that come off of what you're doing. It may not be exactly what you want, but because you're putting that energy out there and you're doing the right things, you're going to get something.
Yeah.
And that's how I always felt. And it still holds true today. And it holds true for a lot of people I see. And maybe like you don't know it, but that happens for you all the time. You know, I don't know if you realize it.
Yeah.
The same thing with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you guys are like together, more things happen for all of you.
Come on now.
When you're together, instead then if you went over here and did it,
right,
you wanted to do it. So it's like the same thing with everybody. If you can tell someone to tap into that, you'll be successful at anything.
I agree.
Yeah.
One of the things when I don't know about making it. I do know. I mean, I know the day when I felt like I was going to make it, but I feel like I'm going to say it because it's still a feeling I get right now. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm making it when I don't have to. When my mind has no worries. Mm. Like I don't be worried about nothing. I don't even think about like money. Like in my mind, it's like I just got enough. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so it's like I'm not. I think before it was like I always say I want to be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's like, I just want to be able to go in the store every time.
Get whatever.
And pick up whatever I'm picking up. Mm-hmm. And not be like, or go out to dinner. We go out to dinner. Yeah. I'm going to be like the first, I'm always like, come on, let me just get this card out. Because I know I got enough money to pay. Mm-hmm. And I would never get in a position where we're like arguing about the bill or something like that. Right? And so for me, that is making it. Like, when I'm and the way it feels to me is like it's like freedom.
Yeah, we talked about the freedom part.
Yeah, it's a freedom to be like not stressed out because I do know what it's like not to have enough money to pay for the bill. I do know what it's like to be thinking like, oh man, I got to pay this and this. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I was young and I had a car note. Like when I used to live on Gillette, I always think about when I used to live down the street. When I lived down the street, they raised my rent by $50. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because all my money was up to I spent every dollar basically every month. Mm-hmm. And so when he said he was going to raise the rent, I was like, I guess I got to go live back with my parents. Mm-hmm. But somehow I made it out of there. And then the crazy thing is that when I started thinking better, when I'm like, when I allowed my mind to think better, I was able to do I went from worried about $50 to me and Deshelle when Deshelle was living with me. Her car was getting broken in, and I was like, "Yo, we're gonna move to a bigger apartment, a better apartment, a more expensive apartment." Yeah. And so it was like, how I go one day from worried about $50 to the next day, I figured out in my mind, hey, we're gonna pay $1,500 for our apartment. Mm-hmm. And it was like that was the beginning of I feel like my high when I'm just like unstoppable. Mm-hmm. Like I could basically say anything and it would just happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it felt like you talk about feeling special. I felt like I was just like in a sense like I could do anything. Yeah. If I put my mind to it, it's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a good thing. So is it possible to have the same mindset at the bottom as you do at the top? Talk to me about your change in mindset.
I think it's the people you're around help change your mindset. Because if you don't know, you don't know. Yeah. Go back to the videos we were doing back then. Mm-hmm. All right. The people that were all hanging around there, I can probably tell you the people in that room. Yeah. Probably a handful of us are successful now. Because some of us realized we have to change who we had to go to the library. The dudes weren't going to the library with you. None of them. And they probably, you know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out how to do it myself. Yeah. So like when you change if you have that mindset, you got to get around people. Like you got to realize that the people around you don't have that. Right. And if you don't, your mindset's not going to change because they're going to always deter you from what you really want to do. Yeah. So if you got a certain mindset, you kind of look around and you got to get people with the same mindset. So then at least you could be able to have the same type of conversation, not necessarily partner together, but maybe have the same conversations. Mm-hmm. Or, how do you just, I think, and you don't, in a lot of things, like you just don't know if you don't know. Yeah. You don't know that the library's free. Like some people just don't know that you can just walk in there and get books and check out books with an ID and a card and take out movies. They don't know that.
Yeah.
So like little something like that. So I think some people mindsets are the same. Excuse me, they can be the same when you're not as wealthy or whatever in the bottom, but you have to change. You have to be smart enough. Again, you have to be smart enough to know that your environment is going to help you.
Yeah.
And it's going to help your thought process. So you can think about positive things every day. So you can think about another step forward, because most of the things that we indulge in, we're talking about partying and stuff when we're young, is just drinking and smoking weed and doing all this other crazy. It's nothing that doesn't build to the next day unless you do something that day. You know what I'm saying? So they have to need support. So if you do have a great idea, and the people around you don't feel like that's a great idea, there are people that are around you that will. You got to find those avenues, and then you got to do it every day. You got to put in at least 90 days, 94 maybe,
94 days,
right?
Yeah,
you got to put them in. So I would just say you can't have this stuff. They say they don't think if there's some people that's at a lower state right now and they think they can't get to the higher state, what you want to say, because of where they are. The mindset you have now should be the one you want in the future. Like you should be able to see yourself. Those affirmations.
See yourself, be yourself.
You should be able to,
one of my aspirations.
You should be able to see yourself do that. If you can't see yourself be that, you're not going to, because you're not putting it out. You're not projecting it. So you have to see yourself. If you see yourself be that, you have to go find those that's going to help you.
Come on.
Right? Yeah, definitely.
That's powerful.
What do you think, Malik?
I find it a little complex.
Yeah.
I'll go down one road. See, in so many ways, I know for me at least, I was used to being the underdog, right? The person who like they didn't really believe in, they didn't give the shine to, they didn't, right? Like they had a dream that was pushing against the system, that was trying to be like the rose that grows through the concrete, like trying to like that 4-for-1 Hail Mary. There's a freedom in that,
right?
And that thing that no one expects nothing of you, right? So there's a way that you could operate in silence, or like you could operate in a way that people really don't see until it hits the light. Now, I see the change for me was when you start winning, and then people get your best and they want more.
Right.
They want greater, right? When you have the pressure of now not getting there, we got there. It's how do I stay there?
Yeah.
And then how do I multiply that?
Yes.
How do I keep going with that? Right? And I would say that it's a combination of looking for people who are looking for me, right? Getting myself into new rooms and doing new things and finding a new mountain to climb, but also not forgetting the process, the routine, that got me there.
Right.
Because as I get out of this room, because I'm too comfortable, I get to the next one. And I have to understand I'm going back to I go back to sports. I'm going back to being the underdog, right? So I can't lose that bite, because I could have all bark. I could be leaning on the legacy versus trying to build one, right? Like I could be in a place where like victory has defeated me, and my like right, that kind of like that Batman, right, where he breaks his back, like you like the idea is that you lose that hunger. Now someone else is coming in behind you, like they want your spot,
they want it,
right?
Somebody's coming for the spot always,
right? So it's like when they say heavy is the head, it's like cool. I'm not trying to give this crown up, right? So like with this. I want to be that same dog, right? But Kobe said it. I felt like the best. I got to be the same animal with a different piece, right? And I really feel like that mentality is like I gotta be able to move in different circles, get the right people around me, so I could be even more successful, and then also understand that a lot of my come up was a solo come up. Yeah. Right, it was like the lone wolf.
That's what I was going to talk about.
Not knowing the lone wolf dies, right? And then it's like I get to invent my pack. I get to, right. I have, and then one thing I learned is that I have a lot of relatives, and I get to build my family. Right. We related, fam, but like I built my family, like my community, the people who showed up for me, right? Right. Like when I called some of those relatives to help me move, when I had an 8-month-old baby, and it was just me and wifey, right? It'd be by myself. But those other people who I call family, right, who we not be blood, but we family because of the connection, the bond, the goals. They showed up for me, right? Like it's those things where you like, look, I got to build that, right? That village, that community, and then understand the projection of that, and y'all are in that, right? Like
appreciate that,
and I love that.
So you know what's deep is like one of the things that I think was a benefit for me is exactly what you said about being alone. I think that when I moved to Connecticut, I had this complex. Being from White Plains, New York, I moved to West Hartford. And so I was always from New York. That's how I operated. So on the weekend, I went back to New York. And so my whole high school, I never really like made like friends. I had a couple of friends, but it was not like I wasn't like going all in. I would be like, y'all from Connecticut, I'm from New York. I go back to New York. Then when I went to college, you be from where you're from. When I went to college, I decided I had to be from Connecticut because it would be false to say that I'm from New York in a sense because I lived in Connecticut 3 years. I didn't want to be fake. I'm from Connecticut. And I had great friends in college. I got friends I still know for 30 years, right? But one of the things and my plan, it was crazy because when I got kidney failure the first time, I was living in Atlanta. And Dave was about to move to Atlanta. So literally the day Dave moved to Atlanta, I was leaving to come back to Connecticut because I didn't feel like I could take care of myself with kidney failure. I needed support. So I came home to my parents. And after 6 months living with my parents, I moved into my own apartment. And I think that the time that I spent alone, because I wasn't from Connecticut, when I came back to Connecticut, it wasn't like I had mad friends and it was like, I'm going to get with my boys up here and we're just going to do whatever we do. So what I had the opportunity to do was actually find out, who am I? Who is Abdul? Without, like, if I don't got no friends, if I don't got nobody around me to influence me, who do I want to be? What do I want to have? And yo, the crazy thing about it is, I realized this is how I got to give credit to my wife though, because I lived on Gillette for 5 years, and I was chilling. I always tell people I was like satisfied with my life. I was like, yo, I got my apartment. I got my car. I'm making it. You know, I got a job. And it wasn't until my wife. Now, also, I had kidney failure though. I still had kidney failure. But after it was like 2 things happened to me. I got a kidney, and I got in a relationship with Deshelle. And it was those two things were like lightning hit me.
Come on. So
I went from just being like, yo, I'm just going to work, to all of a sudden, I wouldn't be sleeping no more. I'd be up thinking about like, yo, I'm gonna start my own business. And some of the stuff that I was like thinking about, even right now, when I say, okay, I'm gonna start my own agency. I used to say it like that. I'm not gonna start a practice, or a lot of people in social work, they'll do a practice. I was like, I'm gonna start my own agency. And now it's all done, right? It seemed like it was just like a story, just written. It was just so easy. Like everything I did was just like, it was just a door would just open for me, like, and it was just like, it was my destiny. And you know, like when you could see your destiny just happening right before your eyes, right? But it was because I had totally 100% changed the way that I thought about everything. I was like, yo, we're gonna get off Gillette. And it would just be like 2 months later, we'd be like packing our stuff up, moving off to Broadway. Anytime I said anything, it would just happen. And it was because I had that time where having that kidney was like, it was like a whole new life for me. Like I used to say to myself, like, well, I don't know how long I'm gonna have this kidney, so I gotta go hard body while I got it, because I could be back on dialysis and boom, 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 boom. And so I feel like my mindset, and so I used to consume like the stuff you're talking about, astral projection, all that kind of information. I was consuming it all the time. I would be reading books. I would be listening to motivational speakers, and I would be like, I go to an open mic one day. I go to open mic. We were watching the open mic, and I'd be like, I want to do poker. I want to do poetry. And the next time I would have a poem, and it was like I never wrote a poem in my life, but just by seeing it, I thought I could do that. And all of a sudden I could do it, and I was actually good at it, you know. And so it was like when you have a mindset that you are like unstoppable, that the clock is on, that this is your time, that yo, you don't know how much you got. it's like the world will open up in a way that you never thought. And then so if I told you today, like if when we look back and say, look, the beginning of my people, like think about it. I was 31 years old. Mm-hmm. I was, my father had a great career, but I was 31 years old. And if you think about a 31-year-old dude right now, and they say they're gonna start an agency, in the first year of my people, the not even the first year, the first 8 months of my people, I had 100 staff, and that was all just talk. It was like right now we try to hire people all the time. We got Indeed, we ain't put out an ad, nothing. People used to just walk in the door.
Right.
They just walk in. And so to me, it's like when you can pair up destiny with inspiration and motivation and encouragement and willingness and belief, it's like what can't happen for you.
Right. It all happens. Everything we spoke about tonight is everyone's mentioned. I don't know if you know, and even my cousins, is the things they put out there.
Right.
Bad and good.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right? You have the bad music all the time you're listening to, bad things kind of happen. You just spewing those out.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the affirmations, and everything is affirming. We're reading. You're saying, talking about reading like a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Kyrie was talking about, he realized when he read that it was a superpower. Yeah. So I know how to speak to you. Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about. So I'm not ignorant anymore. He talked about the old reference of put in the book, black man never read. You know that whole story. So he's saying that. So now that I know that, and we don't tell each other that reading is what gives you. It's like if I know something.
That's what I'm reading right now. For obviously not for the first time.
Like if I know something, if I know, you're gonna learn more in the book. The book is just when someone tells you about a book or movie, they just regurgitate what they think you need to know. So like the whole process of like our indoctrination and how they educate us now, just things they want us to know. What about the things you don't know? I was at Urban Assembly today, and I heard one of the teachers talking to the kids in the corner. She was talking about slavery and stuff, and I wanted to. So after she left, I was like, "Yo, man, you ever heard of Mansa Musa?"
Come on, man.
He was like, "No, who's that?" Somali King, man. Look it up right now. Go look at it. Don't ask her about him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh. And I was leaving. He was like, "Yo," I was like, "Yeah, man."
Yeah.
But what he can do is look at that right there. But I'm like, it's like I said, they teach you what they want to teach you, man. I said, hey, it's good to get what you get. Get what you get.
Right.
But want more. Like, want to know, like, more. Like, where were we at this time?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, you see a picture with a bunch of white people. Where were we at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's things like that. So, I don't know.
No, I think that's powerful. And as I'm listening to y'all talk, I know for me, it was everything that I dealt with as an adult, I was able to overcome and do because I already had dealt and overcame the hardest thing that ever happened to me. And that was my speech impediment. Mm-hmm. Right. And when I gained my confidence to do that, which felt like insurmountable, like it was the highest of mountains that just wasn't going to happen for me. That led to everything else because I always compared it.
Right.
Right. So I think when I'm thinking about this idea of consistency or this idea of pushing and inspiring and doing all these things is that I have the strongest anchor of having the evidence and the receipts of overcoming the hardest thing, right? Like when I got cut from the basketball team, going to a permanently white institution and trying to figure it out, trying to go from special ed to mainstream to then be able to be like, right, trying to getting into my doctorate program, like all the things that you can do, right? That you're like, I don't feel like I'm good enough or I belong here, right? It's this idea for me, it was always rooted in this, like, I was never more insecure than I was then. And that consistency of reading over the summer, of reading my freshman and sophomore year, and just in that time alone, right? That time just working on my craft was so important because, right, like first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. And once I understood the process of that, I just stopped telling people what I was doing and just started showing them the receipts.
Just do it. Just do
right.
it. Yo, Nike, I don't like Nikes, but they had something on that one. Just do it. All right, so I feel like it's important we talk about who helped you.
Yeah.
We've been talking about a lot of like this journey, low points. We talk about consistency. We talk about how did you get out. We talk about your mindset. Mm-hmm. Who was your helper along the way? Who stepped in? Who gave you a word, a lift up, a pull up?
who was talking to me? Who was
a physical person?
physical person?
You want me to start?
Well, my wife probably. That's it. She probably the only one at that point. She probably the only one that believed I could do what I could do.
Shout out to the wife.
And I just thought she just did that because she loved me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she to this day she goes, I knew you'd always. I said you did. You used to always say that.
Yeah.
But I used to think you just say that. She goes, no, I really did. I was like, all right, I know now, but you always think she just saying it like it's like your mama. Like you gonna do it, baby. You can't even sing. You gonna sing, baby. But my wife, probably she was the one that kind of, she probably like, mentally helped me. Like, don't worry about it. I got this. Keep going.
Right.
Don't worry about this. I'm like, oh, all right, that. And then like individuals like Vaughn helped me out because I didn't have a computer.
Vaughn Allen.
I didn't have a computer. He let me come over there. He didn't even know how to use it. I'll figure it out, and I figured it out. And then when I got further, like you, because you was my guinea pig with everything. You just wanted, and I learned so much from
That's my guinea pig right there.
Doing all the shows and stuff. So I learned from you a lot, like you as well. Like I practice on all of y'all. I'm like, come on, you want to do something? Come over, come down in the basement and just do something.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right, I just put everybody over so I can practice. So people around me that I see that's doing well, always like, hey man, come over. Let me practice on you because you're going to send it somewhere. I know you are because
right. You're going to put it out there.
Right. So maybe those my wife and then you guys and a couple of others.
Malik? Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, my mother, she had me at 17, so that process with her just believing in me before I was even born, and just everything that she used to say to me, like the things that just like when I didn't think highly of myself, she just had this way of making me believe like what she said. And you know what really hit me was y'all watched that Kanye documentary, right? And you know how like the way his mother talked to him, like my mother always spoke to me like that, and it's like I remember like crying while listening to it, right? And just being like, and to the point where like me and my mother still talk every day, like every day, right? Like and she lives in Alabama now, but like. It's like one of those things that's like, so her, man, listen, like, I feel like, Dr. Flowers, he was the first speech impediment, the speech person I had that helped me, older Jamaican dude, man, like going out of like childhood, I would say, really, Tammy Lanier, she gave me a big shot, shout out to Tammy. She gave me a big shot when I went towards probation and parole and all the things that she did and those things. And a big shout out to my wife. When I was going through that, like sleeping in my car, she used to drive 2 hours twice a week to come see me.
Wow.
And I remember me being like, yo, I can do bad by myself and like not really wanting to be around because I'm like, yo, we're going to go hang out at the pizza shop. Right. Shout out to Highland Pizza in Somerville. But she just, to your point, I just remember it was like 2 years afterwards. I remember talking to her, being like, "Yo, why did you keep rocking with me?" And she just said, like, it was the way you talked about the future. I just believed you.
She says, yeah, she was like, the way you just, he was always so excited about it. So I figured she'd be mad, but after she said something to me, I would say something and she'd believe again.
Right.
Like I don't know how I said it.
Yeah. And I got many more, but I'll leave it there.
Yeah. I want to shout out. I think first and foremost, I will have to say my wife. Deshelle was pregnant when I started my people.
Yeah, I know all the stuff.
You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, the fact that she could have easily been like, "Yo, I'm about to have a baby. Like,
go get a job."
Like, it's probably not the right stuff. But so I really appreciate that. But also, it's like Eugene. You can't ever talk about my people without Eugene because he was like one of the first people that came with me on this.
I bet number 9 all the time.
Yep. And I would say definitely this is the crazy thing. My parents, like everybody in my family, I think everybody in my family except for my brother Omar worked at my people. Like all my brothers and sisters. And so it's like, and for my family, when I was a kid, my father used to have a brochure, and it was called, his business was called Peace Associates, and he was the executive director, and all of us had a position in Peace Associates, and so to me, I always think about that, like that imprinted in my mind that we could have a family business, that we could do something, and everybody could do something if we wanted to. And so the fact that, you know, in the early years, my dad used to work here. My mom still works here. My sisters, my brothers have worked here. To be able to create, like, my son was on the news yesterday promoting the Fifth Down conference that we're gonna have tomorrow. Yeah. And so it's like, and he was up there like a pro, you know. And it's like you were saying before the show started, what were we doing when we were in high school, right? And he's already in a position. He may not fully know what he wants to do, right? But
he's been in front of the camera since he's been like 6, 7, doing it. And now the camera's on. He's seen big camera, small camera. So when that happens, it's really, he's been groomed for it. Like, even though like he speaks well in front of people that you don't even realize. Like, yeah, that's my son.
That's my son.
You don't even realize because they watch from afar, right? And like he does things you do too. Like, like when he's in front of the camera, like he do things, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you see he's watching.
Yes. And so to me, like I want to shout out all those people. Anybody, you know, the people that made those first referrals too, because it's like you could have a business, but if nobody makes a referral, you ain't got no business. And so those people that made those first referrals and got the ball rolling, I really feel like they helped us out a lot.
And if I can just add something that sometimes I know it's important. Also, like I wanted to make sure I added that. You know, shout out to all my brothers out there that like support me. I mean, sometimes I know it's important to hold the women down for me, first and foremost. But like, I think about, you know, Ab, you heard me tons of time talk about like your influence on me and just being able to watch you, right? Like, and brothers don't even get that. Sometimes it's, you know, I've gotten more access to you, but like even over the years of being able to watch, right? Because you can't do what you don't see, right? And how important that is. You know, and I go with Zoe, man. Like I remember just being like a young speaker trying to get some work out there, man. And I think similar to your cousin, it's like, yo, we ain't got the bread right now, but Zoe just like, yo, come through, right? Bring your talent, like we can figure it out, right? And then it's just also the brotherhood, and I would just give a big shout out. And I think this is something that's been really important to me and my development since the pandemic, since 2020. Shout out to the brother Demetrius Chambly.
Of course.
Like,
we all love Demetrius.
Like that's like my right hand right there. Like that's my man. Like, and all the things that we've been through and talked through, and like just the level of brotherhood that he provides. Right. And you know how intentional he is, right? And like the stuff that like it's meat and potato conversations, right? And but someone who shows up. Right, like who will surprise you and show up? Who will, you know, talk about consistency and being your brother's keeper? Like that's somebody that like I flat out just, you know, also my business partner. So shout out to Ashe Investments and Xenia Ventures. But you know, it's just I just wanted to say that because like you talk about helping you out. You know, iron sharpens iron, and someone being able to really like, you know, his ability to be intentional about self-care, to you know, water relationships and things like that just have helped me grow as a man. Because I'm not saying I'm out here running around getting a bunch of new friendships, but that friendship I cherish deeply. In how just even our families interact and stuff like that. So just something I wanted to add up there.
Shout out to all the brothers out there, man. Shout out to all the good men. All right, so we got to wrap up. We're getting close to the end. We're going to skip down to a little brotherly advice. Boom. You guys obviously know my beard is doing great. If you follow the show.
It's not fake.
It's not
You got to pull it. We don't know if it's fake. You got to beard. They do the beard implants?
Yeah, that's the hard.
Yeah, the man kit.
There's no beard.
Hey, listen, I get a man kit, get one bigger. Have mine be
it won't look right. It won't.
Give me a little man kit.
No. I let the barber cut it today, too. I don't usually do that. I let him cut it. I let him get a little, you know.
Scissors?
All right. A little brotherly advice. We talked about a lot today. This is our longest show ever, Zoe, by the way.
It is.
Sorry.
Hey, listen.
It was Zoe's cousin's opening story. It was just.
Oh yeah, he told an 8 story. Yeah.
He was like, and I started off as a baby.
It was great though.
All right, so Malik, a little brotherly advice. Give some advice to a brother that's out there who's in a position right now, and he wants to get to another position. What advice would you give to him?
The advice I'll give right now is be, do, have.
Be, do, have.
Right? Like don't try to have, do, be. Like be, do, have. Like start being the person. Start putting on the shoes. Start believing that researching who you want to be, what you want to do, and start being that person, like doing the things that person does, like privately and publicly, right? And
privately and publicly
with integrity, right? Like that, and I feel like that right there is the B, and then let it like look in like what you do and also what you don't do. Right. And that's super important because as we're growing, as you're growing in any role that you're playing, it's not also about what you do, right? So now we're showing up, we're doing the things we're supposed to do, but there's going to be opportunities. Just know, right? The devil's here to kill, steal, and destroy. So the idea is that, right, as you're progressing towards growth, you're going to have resistance.
Yeah.
And that resistance is going to come in people that are close to you at times or opportunities where you're weak at. So I would just tell you, right, figure out your best yes and say no to some things. And what you don't do also says a lot about who you are. And then lastly, right, like you will have. But when you think about it, it's kind of like when I talk to like my children and was saying like, well, what do you want to be when you get older? Like, don't give me a job, right? Give me something deeper than that. So we talking about have, like, what do you want to have? Like peace, right? Joy, right? Like what do you really want to have? So really think about those deeper things because those will reflect in the external.
What you got, Zoe?
All right, say this a lot. Just be the person you needed growing up.
Ooh,
that's leaving it at that.
Be the person you need to be growing up. Whoever you needed, be that person, because someone needs you as well.
Ooh! Shout out to Devontae and Terrell.
Oh yeah,
from Diligence. That's like their like bar.
Yeah,
that's their line. Like I heard they're gonna be at your conference, right?
Those
young brothers.
They're gonna say that tomorrow.
Big shout out. They're gonna say it. I promise you, they're gonna say it because that's their like. That's one of their bars. That's one of their bars right there. I love what they're doing. So just want to add that.
All right, my brotherly advice. Hey, don't give up. Hey, right now you might be at the bottom. You might be at the bottom right now. But all you got to do is take one step up.
Come on.
You take one step up and you're not at the bottom anymore. And after you take that one step up, hey, how about you take another step up? We're only taking steps up. We're moving up. And we're going to take, if you got to stay at a step for a certain amount of time, it's okay. It's okay. But we're going to have the mindset that we can get back just to the surface. Right now, so you're in a hole, but we want to get you to the surface. Because once you get up to that surface, you're going to have that light shine on you. When you get that light shine on you, it's going to be able to give you what you need. It's going to give you the nourishment and the love that you need. You're missing it right now, but I'm telling you, just take a step up. Every day, take a little step up. It's going to be hard. It's going to feel like, I have kidney failure, right? And sometimes when I try to do physical stuff, it feels a lot harder than like when I was healthy, right? But I always feel good when I give it a try. I just want you to try a little bit harder than you normally do. Even if it hurts a little bit, take that step up.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, the outcome, what's on the other side of that step, a few more steps, your whole life's going to be different. Just trust me. Take the step and do your affirmations.
If you get anything out of this whole show,
do your affirmations.
Affirmations and saying things out loud.
That's right. All right, tomorrow we got the Fifth Down Conference. On June 8th, we have the Fatherhood Manhood Workshop. Malik, we would love for you to join us. We're going to be down at Silent Hill Congregational Church. Just like, you've done it a million times with me. Maybe you'll come. Yeah, I think you told me you were going to come. You didn't see that flyer? What else we got going on? On June 22nd, we have our Men's Health and Wellness Weekend. And so there's a lot going on. Hey, we'll be back next Tuesday, 6 o'clock, the Manhood Tree Podcast. Never stop dreaming.
Ever.
Oh!
Uh-oh.